Hello everyone, I hope you're well. It's Donna here, thank you for joining me. I am working in this journal today and I thought I would share the session with you because I have put together a little freebie. Now this journal is the one where I document things that I've made on videos or elements of a kit that I've made, just for me to look back and reference and remember what I've done. And I did want to document a print that I have recently illustrated. It's the illustration of a chamomile plant and it's available on my website and also Etsy in different colours, different sizes. So I will leave the links if you want to check the actual prints out. But I did want something a little bit more manageable that I could fit into this journal here. So I put together a loaded pocket. And what I've done is shrunk this illustration down. So this is more of like a journaling card size. We've got a couple of pockets here, some journaling space here, a few quotes. So this one is a quote by, I don't know if you can see that or whether it's blurry. It's a quote by Alice Hoffman and it says, "Drink chamomile tea to calm the spirit." And then on this one, I've just put, "Today I choose chamomile." And these two little rectangles up here, I thought might just be useful for layering. Perhaps layering a quote on top. And I just thought since I'd made it and printed it out, I would offer it as a free download. So if you are interested in this, I will have it on my Ko-fi shop for you to download. There's no cost, you just need to put a 0 in where it says price. There is an option to, I think it says pay as you want, which is just an option to make a little donation if you want to. It's not necessary at all, this is a freebie. But if you do want to, the option's there, but don't worry about it. Just stick a 0 in the little box where it says paid. And then it's an instant download from there. I've also done 2 backing papers, which I will include in the file. So this is the first one, which I've chosen to use. It's just a really neutral kind of speckled paper texture, because this one and this one, when they're turned this way, you do see the white bit. So it's just an option if you wanted to print something on the back to have that covered. You could also print this on a single-sided sheet of like scrapbook paper or very thin scrapbook card that you've already got. The other option I will pop onto screen because I haven't printed it, but that's a more kind of beigey colour and it's a little bit more saturated. So I've included a couple of options on there. Last thing to note is this is on A4 paper. I will try and put it onto US letter size paper as well. It may just affect the sizing a little bit, but shouldn't cause too many problems. If I'm able to do that, I will have a separate folder for A4 and US, and then you can just choose, whichever one suits you. If it does affect the size too much, I'm just going to leave it to the A4. But I still think, to be honest, it would be okay printed on a US letter size. There is plenty of space either side. But by the time this video comes out, I will know whether I've been able to do that or not. So I'll pop a little message on screen for you so that you know what's available. So the first thing I need to do is get this all cut out. You will see some faint score lines here and here, and one there as well, and also some tabs for folding to create the pockets. There's a bigger border around the elements because I wanted to frame them, but you could always cut those off. And yeah, I think that's everything. So I'm going to go away, I'm going to get everything cut out, and I'm going to score down these lines. This one, this one, this one, and then these 2 tabs as well. So I will be back with you in a second. And I did actually forget to point out, which I meant to, is my copyright is at the bottom. There's 2 copyrights because one of them is copyright to me, Donna Moran Designs. I'm the illustrator for this image here. But I'm using it under Create Design Studio as part of a kit. So that's why there's 2 copyrights there. And it does say as well that some of the artwork, so it's just this actually really, contains samples from the public domain. No selling or sharing of files. So obviously that's just important for copyright and the integrity of the original artist and things that are in the public domain. So if you could just keep this file to yourself for your use, that would be great. Okay, so I've got everything cut and I inked around in Scorched Timber, the Distress ink, which is my favourite Tim Holtz and Ranger colour. So I inked round everywhere, and I just did a very small rounded corner on these two just at the top. So I used the very smallest one here. I haven't inked around the card because I like that little pop of white around the outside. I think it helps to make the illustration pop. And I also, on these, cut just outside the black line, so I still have the definition. You could cut on the inside if you wanted to, and then ink it in a different colour. So to put these together is really easy. So this one will look like this once it's cut, and all you do is score down here, and then score here and score here. These get stuck down to make the pocket there. And this is why I've provided those backgrounds, because obviously you can see it there. You could print it on nothing and then just stick some paper there if you wanted to. There's, you know, there's loads of different ways of going about it. I'm just going to make this inking a little bit stronger to match the others. Now this inking does look quite severe. I like that. I like a dark outline, particularly when I want to show something off, which has got a dark background. That's just something, you know, it's like a personal preference for me. I'm going to get this stuck down to make that pocket. So there's two ways. You can actually do this so it's like this, or you can bring that round to the back. That's up to you, but obviously there is that on the back which you may not want to cover. I'm going to tuck mine in. I'm just going to line it up at the bottom there. And I'll just use this bone folder to help that stick. So that's that pocket there. So you've got that, and then your journaling or whatever you want to do on the back. Now I have not, you can see I've not done a very good job of cutting. This wonky lines and all sorts everywhere, but you know, it doesn't really matter. It's you know, it's hand cut out, so there are going to be those discrepancies. Now this one is designed to fit inside here like that. So this is why it's like a layered pocket. So that will go in there, and then the card is designed to fit in there. So that's, I suppose, the way it's intended to be used. But there's loads of different ways you can do this. You can have all these separate and put them on different pages. You could put a fastener on here. One of, you know, I can't remember what they're called. Like you know what I mean, those circles, and you put string around. Policy closure, I think. You could do that if you wanted to. You could glue these closed here and here and just have a pocket. So it's entirely up to you. The choice is yours. Just kind of use it how you want to. I'm going to use it how it's intended to be used. And I'm just going to do it really simple. So I'm going to pop this one into here. And I'm going to pop this into here. I can decorate that up further if I want to in the future. I might do on this video. We'll just see how we get on. And then I'm just going to keep it simple and put a label there like that. You could use some cheesecloth, some other kind of scraps of paper you may have. I'm just going to see if I've got anything here to demonstrate. Not really. I do have a piece of tape, which might look nice. You know, you could layer it up, something like that, with some scraps. But I honestly think I'm just going to stick mine on to there. Now, another option would be to stick this on 3 sides, and you could actually have another pocket in here as well. So you might want to make maybe, I don't know, one of these into a tag. Just make the tag shape at the top. So lots of different options. So this could then be stuck into a journal page like this. It could be stuck 3 sides as a pocket. You could make an extra pocket. You could even pop this in 3 sides, stick it down, and have a pocket here as well. I want mine to be floating because I want to use the journal space on the back. And I need to find a page So this one might be nice. I could maybe pop it here. The colours match nicely with the colours over here. This is from my Neutrals in Nature kit, which is available on Ko-fi. So I think there's anything like this that I've put in, there's videos. Either a video or it's in one of my kits. If there's any videos like this one's a video, I will link them. This is from a kit. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this page here. And I actually just want to paper clip it in. So I had this large gold paper clip, but I don't like really putting paper clips directly over like this because I feel like sometimes they leave a mark. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but I just prefer not to have that. So I do like to use like an altered paper clip. However, I can't find any. I really need to do a video or just do a session where I make some hidden paper clips. So I'm going to do what I think is a really quick, easy way of doing a hidden paper clip. So I need to start with a straight piece of paper. So let me do that first. This is just a scrap piece of card that I had in my scrap box. So the easiest way I find to do a hidden paper clip is to get a piece of paper or kind of thin card that's long enough that when it's folded, it is still longer than a paper clip. You need it longer than a paper clip so that it opens. So I'm going to fold this in half. And this is going underneath something decorative, so it doesn't have to be like fancy paper or anything like that. And then I'm going to pop the paper clip on like this. So you can either do it in the middle, depending how wide you want your paper clip. And then I normally do either a piece smaller or wider or the same size over the top. I think I'm going to... Right, so I don't want anything too big, so I'm going to pop the paper clip about there. I will cut about there, because I really don't want anything too big. And then here, I'll cut about there. So that's the bottom bit of the paper clip. And I found this scrap, which I think is Tim Holtz. And I've never liked this man. So if I use this, it kills two birds with one stone. I don't have to look at him. And it's just the right size to cover my paper clip. And this will be the top. So that will go in there, and that will go in there. We can probably cut that down a little bit. And that makes our paper clip. So I find the best thing to do is to use some double-sided tape. Just stick down the paper clip. And I use a bone folder to really burnish that down and get all into those nooks and crannies. I'll do that on both sides. There's lots of different ways of doing this, and I think some people I think the short bit should be on the front or the long bit should be on the front. I just do it the way I find easy, which is this way. And I don't really worry what's on the front because it's going to be double-sided anyway. So the long bit's got to go somewhere and the short bit's got to go somewhere. So I don't really worry about it. And then let's just... I reckon we could probably just cut that down a bit. And I've got some of these scallop scissors. So let's put this in. It's probably a bit better. Still quite a long paper clip. We could probably make it a bit shorter, but it's going to go on there like that and stick out as like a bit of a tab. So anyway, let's get this finished. So once I have my double-sided tape, I take the backing off. And I feel then it's just a little bit more secure because you've got the tape holding the paper clip down. Rather than just using glue and risking the paper clip being able to slip around, I just feel like it gives a little bit more stability. And then you want to put this in here like that, close it and stick it. Now a long one like this is actually quite nice going this way, so I could actually do something like that rather than from the side, but I shall see. So once that side is stuck down and straight, I just do exactly the same on the other side. So you still have this opening here, and that's why the paper clip works, but this covers it. So let's take this off. Let's pop some more glue. So you only want glue on the inside bit, not on the outside. And then just shut that closed. So then I'm going to pop a little label onto there. This is from my file folder kit, so it's this kit here. That's also available on Ko-fi and Etsy. I might just pop that there. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to hang it like this, so it just fits there. Got a little label, and then I'm going to pop everything else in front of it so it kind of sticks out like that. Or I could do it so it holds that in place, and then the picture is just like that, which might look nice. I can also put it a little bit higher, have a tab on there. I could even, where's that label gone? I could even pop that there like that, actually, because I like the, can you see, I like the colours with the colours on this side. And then, like that, picture, and then in here. Like that. Yeah, so let me get that sorted and I will get back to you and show you what it's looking like. So I've got my paper clip like that over these two layers. This is what this side looks like. I'm not going to bother decorating it or anything for now. You know, I'll deal with that when, as and when I need to put something there. But this, then I can either put here or I can put here, which I think might be nice because then I can see this pattern. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not doing anything else on the page. I think the markings I made when I coffee dyed the paper look really nice as they are. I just used a stencil and popped it in between the layers of the paper as it was drying. And yeah, I will fill in the journaling card at the back to explain what this is. And again, if you would like to have a look at this illustration as a print, as a piece of home decor, I would urge you to go to my website or my Etsy shop and have a look on there. I've got a few prints, not just these, and I also have greeting cards as well. But yes, I'm going to leave that there for now because I'm happy with how that looks. I've got a lovely little memento. If you would like to do something similar, please go and help yourself to this download. And I would love to hear or see what you have done with it. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to be back soon with another video. One last thing is as well, I will include a little picture of the construction of this as well in with the download. So I will speak to you soon. Happy crafting and thank you for joining me. Take care.